arm like this. Flex your wrist.
All right. Okay, hold
We're going to go elbow, wrist, hand. So we're gonna do that. Where's the energy going? That way.
It's motivation.
Now, if you have an arm like this, now do one straight arm and do a straight arm all the way across like this. And stop it right there. Where does it want to go? That way? It wants to go backwards. Sequential motion. Mark Paul talked about 2023. We talked about sequential motion. There's two ways to add energy to the system. How do you use the ground? It's sequential motion and muscle strength to do those actions. So in the pole vault, the whole deal is I want to load this pole. This is where all the energy is going to come from when I get upside down here and get launched. But you want to be straight, upside down. And all you're going to do, and it's just going to launch you. So to load this, we need to do sequential motion and add muscle energy to what we're doing. Does this thing have any muscles? So back in the day when everybody was copying Bubka and Bubka jumped higher than everybody else, what did they profess? They were doing giants on a high bar, right? So it's just spinning around in a circle. This guy's got no muscles. Does he invert? Yeah. Is there any sequential motion? No. When Bubka jumped, his trail leg only went to about there, because he's basically doing giants around his shoulders using no muscle energy. That's why you saw him fly off the pole early a lot. He's in a position, he's way far away from the bar, and he's here like this, and he goes. But he travels a pretty far distance because he's not using his swing or his tap. The tap is the beginning of the swing. So there's two sequences that you do, and that one is going in. So we don't just automatically do this. We want to hold the shoulders. We want to drive in like you do snap press, okay? When we go into the takeoff and hit that plant, the pole's going to hit your hands, and you're going to automatically do that. What you want to do is anticipate that pole's gonna hit me, so you start to tilt forward, just oh so slightly. I start to tilt forward going into my plant. There's no bend in the pole as you're passing over the plant foot. You want to create bend while there's a mechanical connection on the ground. So I have my bottom arm to do that. I want to create just a little bend. Some create more, some create less. So I can create that bend while there's a mechanical connection. If I hit this locked out, like this, it stops my shoulders and you slide. You want to go in here, so this is where this comes, where that snap press is that slight tilt going in, and now I have that mechanical connection, and you drive your face and your shoulders underneath this bottom hand here. Doesn't have to be locked out, but if I block this, my shoulders go back, and now my hips are out there, and I can't do sequential motion. I can't go shoulders, hips, knee, foot. So the swing to the tap, where everything lines up at that pole tip, that's where we want energy driven down that way. Just like we did this, boom, elbow, wrist, hand. Energy is going to go that way. Shoulders, hips, knee, foot is going to drive down that way. That's what adds energy to the pole. That's what compresses everything, and everything's going to move forward. It's a shorter lever length. Everything's going to move forward. So when we come off the ground, the shoulders tilt in so you can add a little pressure. So if I push straight down on this thing, it's really hard to get started to bend. If I add a little bend, oh, now it's really easy to bend. So that's where that comes in. The shoulders, anticipate the shoulders come in. The hips are behind the shoulders. The knees behind the hips. So you're going to be like that. What it is on your plant and your takeoff, the shoulders swing into the cord of the pole. So you don't just hold this arm solid and hit here. You're not going to have the shoulders swinging into the cord. The first thing that swings into the cord is the shoulders. Shoulders are in line with the cord. Where's his hips? Behind that line. Where's his knees? Behind that line. Where's his legs? His feet up high. If you do straight trail leg the whole time, you're limiting your sequential motion. You're limiting how much you can add. If you come in with this perfect C, you're going to go C to an I. That's not sequential motion. So you have this separation at the hips, the shoulders, the hips, the knee, and the foot. So the shoulders swing in, then the hips, then the knee, and then the foot, and that creates thrust down the cord. It's like doing this. That's thrust. It's going in that direction. If you do straight, if you just swing a straight body, it's going to want to go that way. When you drive energy that way, where's your pole pushing? From the pole tip through the top hand. That's not keeping the pole compressed. You're going to let the pole lose energy. That's the first part. That's the first sequence of moves you do to hit your tap. The next sequence is from the bottom up. The bottom up is legs come up. If they swing all the way to there, that drives energy that way. Remember we did straight arm? You do straight arm like that, where's the energy? Going that way. If we only swing to there, your energy's going out there, and the pole's going to go that way. So that's why you see a lot of vaulters now look for that. Those trail legs or trail leg goes all the way up to there, perpendicular. That drives energy up the cord. What does that do? Pulls my hips down the cord. Right? Hips go down the cord, it adds energy, it bends the pole more. Then the hips up. Oh my gosh, if I do that sequence, where are my legs? On top of my shoulders. Where's the cord? Here. My legs are closer to the cord of the pole, and it's going up this way. That's driving my shoulders down the cord more. That shortens this lever length. It moves everything forward. When you can add more energy to the pole and get that pole into here, and you're inverted, you're gonna get launched. There's very little pulling, pushing, turning. It's basically maneuvering and keeping your body in line with the cord. So when you do the topper over there, it's do it standing up, so you get used to, oh, stay in line and go up the line of the cord of the pole. Any questions on that? So it's developing the strength to do this. Levellini was slower than all those guys. What did he do? He went knees up the cord of the pole. It's not what a lot of people think where they thought tuck and shoot. I may have heard tuck and shoot.
You guys, have a seat. Have a seat.
Oh, sit down. I had them do it. So, tuck and shoot is not swing out there and then tuck in. You can tuck and shoot that way, but your pole's going to do the shooting and you're going to be lost. What Levellini did, he hit that tap, and his knees went straight up the cord. So his hips weren't drifting out there and then tucking to spin faster. His knees went up to drive everything down the cord. And then he inverted, and when they do tuck and invert, look at Mondo, look at Levellini. One of the things they did, they keep their feet close to their hips as they're inverting. That keeps their hips higher, closer to that cord. But if you start to come back here and you kick your feet out trying to go there, it stops the hips. If you're not doing straight trail leg all the way to there, if you start to bend the knees in, which is fine, and swing up, keep your feet close to your hips there. You can see that? And keep going back until your shins reach where your hands are. Don't anticipate and kick your legs out there. It stops the hips, and now you're further away from the cord. got all that? That's where this thing comes in. It mimics the cord of the pole. The pole is always pushing from the pole tip through the top hand. And we want the legs to come up first. The hips and the shoulders and the hands are in that same line. When this hangs on a bar, the bar is pushing straight up, just like a pole would be pushing straight up. It's hanging straight down. It stabilizes the hips and the feet. You bring your legs up. Do it under control. If you're doing all this swinging action, you're not developing any strength. Do you do bench press with a bar that's already moving? Do you do squats where the bar is already moving? No, because it doesn't build strength. Adding resistance builds strength. So we start from a dead hang and learn those movements of legs up. You can either do it with a straight single trail leg. Mondo, you see he hangs both legs down there, so now he's got more mass and he comes up with both legs kind of bent, but now he's got more mass going up that core. Look for that in a lot of vaulters, and you'll see some aren't doing it. And if you're all jumping like Bubka, back in the day, they did data-based research. They went in Germany and they discovered, look, if you're all jumping like Bubka, the fastest guy is going to be the winner. Always. So you may as well just have a race. But for some reason, there were guys that were really slow that jumped higher than guys that were a lot faster. And it's because of sequential motion and the muscle strength to do it. So in today's world, look for that trail leg. We call it kick up rather than swing up. The swing, there's a lot of swings. This is going to swing, and then the hips are going to swing up. Here, the shoulders swing in, then the hips swing in, then the knee swings in, then the foot swings in. So it's not just swing. Boop. Add that energy, and the better you get at this takeoff and drive using that runway energy to compress the pole, the stronger and the better your sequence has to be to keep that pole compressed and moving. You get stronger and better at this sequence, that means, oh, I can use more of this runway energy to go in. Yuli Volkov, it was Tarasov's coach. If you guys ever know history, look at your pole vaulters. He is now training in Canada, has his camp up in Canada from Russia. And Dr. Mark Walsh, they were talking about how much runway energy is pole vault. How much of the energy in the pole vault is run speed. I'm sure you've all heard, oh, it's all your run, it's all your run, it's all your run. Any percentages? How much is your runway speed? Any guesses? What? Take a guess.
70.
Yeah, pretty close. They said they were guessing. It's not really a thing. They were saying 80%. So even at 70, 80%. What's the difference between that one if somebody's jumping 20 feet? It's the difference between somebody jumping 16 feet and 20 feet. That's 80%. So if you're just all run, you're going to miss out. Because these guys are going to come by with better sequence of moves and the muscle strength to do those moves, and they're going to jump higher because they can keep that pole low. I don't know. How many have not been on a swing up rack? You? Oh, good. Turn around and come over here for a second.